I reacted to this video called The Death of Nail of Gacha Games Arknights Endfield a couple of months ago. It's a very good video. Alright, this is by the Arknights. I think this guy make a lot of Arknights Endfield content. Toboro. So he make a new video, a bit of a drama. HYPERGRYPH has no spine. Uh-oh. Now, if you think about it, that's a bit of a drama, right? Calling a company no spine. I would say like that's a bit too much, right? If you think about it, why would you do that, right? Unless you want to start drama. But okay, we'll look into this. The dodge dude, yeah, the dodge dude. Let me guess. He's mad that the game now has dodge. Is it like I think he's mad that the game now has dodge. That's going to be the premise of that particular video. If I have to guess, it's probably going to be that. But we'll see what the drama is going to be all about, right?
Did you know that nothing can ever be bad, ever? Yes, that's right. If you like...
Okay, wait, let me increase the volume a bit. Nothing can ever be bad, ever. Okay, what is this about?
Like something, every single decision made by the people that made it must therefore be good. Integrity is elitist, actually.
Okay.
Fascinating. Anyway, I just got done watching the special program for Enfield's Beta Test 2 with a lot of new information and gameplay and a new trailer and lots of hype.
Okay.
I am very excited for the beta. I thoroughly enjoyed watching the stream. I love the new trailer. The new environments look absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to explore them. I love most of the new characters, save for whatever the fuck this is.
Wait, why would you hate her? I thought her design was the coolest out of all of them. Am I the only one that likes her design? I don't know. I feel like this one is okay. He likes the dude though. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Tsundere.
I'm killing myself. Pogranichnik, I think that's how you say that, or also known as Helga. It looks extremely fun, and he's easily the character that I'm most excited for. Definitely getting him no matter what.
Okay,
the
he's gonna
updates to
get him.
Hijang look excellent. I am extremely excited by the notion of building structures to help other players. The single most obvious inspiration from Death Stranding they've taken so far, my favorite game of all time. And I'm very excited to get my hands on the new and improved combat.
Okay.
Yes, you heard me. I think the combat looks good.
Alright.
No, I'm not going to crash out about the dodge, because I don't give a shit about the dodge anymore, and if...
Okay, he don't give a shit about the dodge anymore. Okay. Don't give a shit about the dodge.
you still do, then you shortly won't. My only hope is that it doesn't make defenders pointless, but I think HYPERGRYPH is more than capable of making sure that will be the case. The overwhelming majority of this live stream has me very excited to...
I think that's a good point right there, right? I think he just mentioned a very good point. By having dodge in the game, will defenders be pointless? Because you can just do like 4 DPS characters or no healers, and then you can just try to, you know, perfect dodge everything. Maybe you can basically cheese it that way. So that could make like healers or defenders or shielders less useful. In a way, sure, right? Dodge is still skill. Yeah, it still needs skill, but it could probably make certain characters less useful or less needed, right? You can't deny that. Actually, for, you know, especially if you have the mobile players, it's good. Good for people that play on the phone, eh? Because it's harder to dodge on the phone. Maybe to a certain extent.
Finally get my hands on this game again, whenever that may be. But you, my dear viewer, the astute observer of exceptional wit and indubitable charm, are not here to listen to me sing its praises, or talk about the things I like about the game, even if the positives constitute the vast majority of my opinion on it.
Okay.
No, you are here because I have some concerns I wish to talk about.
What is that?
And apparently, talking about your concerns is crashing out. Being critical of something you like is doom posting, and wanting games to be unique and interesting is elitist. Absolutely nothing I say or do short of deleting my channel and killing myself will be good enough for people who think like that, so I don't give a fuck anymore.
Whoa. Yo, I'm guessing, okay, my guess is his previous video get a bunch of traction and he get a lot of hate about it, right? He, again, he made one more video, this one, right? Wasted potential. There's a lot of people that watch this video, right? 200k views. So I'm guessing like maybe he get a bunch of like, you know, a bunch of criticisms by a lot of people, right? He's a little bit of a freak, but I mean that's just how it's going to be, right? At the end of the day, but to say those things is kind of like insane.
Anymore. Without further ado, what's up, guys? Crash out doom posting elitist here. Let's talk about gacha and blueprints.
Damn.
Starting with gacha. They announced there will be 3 banners: New Horizons, Basic, and Chartered. Pulls for New Horizons are acquired through main story missions and will guarantee a 6-star upon completion. Basic and Chartered both guarantee a 6-star within 80 pulls. Chartered is the big one, which will feature new operators as they are released.
By the way, for any of you guys who play Stellar Sora, it's literally the same. Literally the same gacha system as Stellar Sora. So there's going to be a one-time only. You can get the character within 120. And then there's going to be the separate one that every 6-star operator within 80 attempts. And there'll be 50-50. And yes, you can lose 50-50 multiple times. As far as I know, they haven't changed that. So it's similar to Stellar Sora. You can lose 50-50 maybe like 4 or 5 times in a row. Alright, after you are, if you're trying to get dupes, right, after you get these 120 attempts. That's going to be something to consider.
And has a 120 pull guarantee to get the featured rate-up operator. What's new though is that we now know the gacha will not work the same way it does in Arknights. Instead of a character being added to the standard pool after their rate-up banner ends, they will instead be included in the pool for 2 more banners for a total of 3, and then will be removed from the pool.
I think this is a good thing in my opinion, right? Is it 2% or 0.6 or 0.7, right? So that's going to be the stuff. Don't call it 50-50. It is 50-50. Wait, what do you mean don't call it 50-50? It is 50-50. 50% chance to get the rate up character, 50% chance to get the off rate character. That's how 50-50 comes to. 50-50 doesn't mean that, oh, you do it once, the next time is guaranteed. No, only certain games have that system, right? But anyways, you have this particular one that will rotate within 3 times. This one is, I think this is quite interesting, but I'm not sure if... Yeah, I'm not sure how entirely this will work, right? I'm guessing this is the rate up banner, but you still have a chance to get them when you lose 50-50. Is that how it works? So basically, if you're trying to get the next... Let's say this one already, the banner duration is over. Will this get added here and then you lose 50-50, you can get her, is it? Is that how it works?
That's right. All characters are now limited. They describe this as the operator temporarily leaving the pool, because according to them, they plan reruns for later. So we can plan our pulls at our own pace.
So that's going to be how it is, right?
So there's no need to worry about missing your favorites. Now, if they actually do rerun operators frequently enough, the fact that they are limited is not an issue. But we have no way of knowing what later means until at least several months into the game's release.
Yeah, it's going to be a few months. Definitely. Definitely going to be a few months.
A few years? Will reruns for popular characters be deliberately withheld until...
I don't think it'll be a few years, man. A few years would be crazy, right? What game does a few years after, before they can get back a character, right? That'll be too insane.
Will they need a nice little cash injection? Will all operators eventually be added to the standard pool? We don't know.
Okay.
But to then hear this bullshit line, don't worry about missing your favorites. You already have a perfectly functional gacha system in Arknights. There is absolutely no reason to introduce...
So he's saying that he wants the new system to be like Arknights, is it? Now, Arknights gacha is quite good, right? I'm not going to deny it. It's quite good. Yeah, you can see right here, right? The rates is also way higher, right?
Introduce FOMO into that system that isn't completely and utterly cynical. Announcing that basically every character will be limited and then saying, oh no, don't worry, there'll be reruns later. That's not comforting, that's sinister. But my main concern with characters now being limited is the possibility that character potentials will now make a massive difference is up in the air. They don't clarify whether the guarantee is still one time only as it was before, and even then it may not even matter. Characters being limited means players will be significantly more incentivized to pull for potentials, especially for their favorites.
Okay.
I have spent money on Arknights because dupes don't make a massive difference, so I can build a lot of operators and have more strategies available to me in my roster. If dupes are now much more important all of a sudden, it will have the opposite effect on me. I will be strongly encouraged to spend way, way less, because I don't like seeing such transparent greed.
I feel like true, maybe it's for him, but I think some people, when they see that the dupes are stronger, they tend to spend more. I actually feel that, right? Because as somebody that plays Zenless on Zero and somebody that plays Honkai Star Rail, a lot of people talk about, hey, should I E1 this character? Hey, should I get E1 for this? Should I get E2 for that? Everybody here knows Miyabi E2. Miyabi E2, alright? Everybody here knows Jendo E2, right? Like, there's a lot of this conversation about dupes, right? And I think most people, it does entice a lot of people to want to spend more because content creators generally push the narrative to get, oh, you gotta get E of these characters, Eidolons, constellations of these characters, right? Definitely, it does balance things out. There are some people that are more, inclined to want to spend money, but there are also like the other side of it, right?
This is not at all what I expect to see from HYPERGRYPH. Now let's talk about blueprints.
Acheron E2, Acheron with E2 and
To make this
Litecoin.
perfectly clear from the outset, this is not about personal blueprints. Being able to copy and paste a production line that you've built is a good feature that I wholeheartedly welcome. The basic starter blueprints are kind of just whatever. I would rather they didn't exist, but they're just basic ones, so it's not a big deal. But by far, the biggest point of contention I've seen being discussed about anything related to the entire special program is shareable blueprints for your entire factory.
Okay.
Literally, just copy a share code and paste it in. That's it. Pretty much all the dismissals I've seen of concerns about this sound something like, people will just use a YouTube guide anyway. What's the difference? The difference is that you have to go and look for a guide and follow it step by step.
Okay.
This is you being presented with a button to skip the process of following the guide in the first place and just getting the end result. It's very...
Wait, is he trying to say this is a good thing or a bad thing? I don't get it. Is he against this, or is he against this or with this? Because I thought it's a good thing, right? Because there are players that just might not want to learn the factory thing, so why not just give them... It's like giving them a skip button, right? He's saying it's a good thing? Really? It sounds like he's complaining, I don't know.
Following the guide in the first place and just getting the end result. It's very different. But Factorio and Satisfactory have blueprint. Those games have an upfront cost serving as the barrier to entry, and they are also orders of magnitude larger in scale.
Okay.
Endfield is a free-to-play RPG gacha game with a rather small factory area, and it never encourages you to rebuild it. Or the classic, it doesn't affect your experience. You can still build your own factory. This is just for people who don't want to do the factory stuff. You have missed the point.
So what's the point?
A gigantic proportion of players who would otherwise be perfectly willing to build their own factory and enjoy the gameplay they worked so hard to make will now never bother doing so. And if only a tiny fraction of players are engaging with a certain part of the game, why the hell would they invest their resources into building on it and developing it further?
Wait, I don't get it. If people don't like it, how can they like it? So his point is he wants every player to play this and experience it for themselves, which, okay, I can see that. But if somebody don't like it, why would... So they need to force themselves to play through this, like... I don't know, like, it's such a... It's weird, right? Because, like, how can you force yourself to like something, right? I mean,
the factory and base building obviously won't be phased out entirely, and they will still play a decent role in existing regions. But I'm calling it now. Once we go elsewhere, it will be dramatically less important with each new region. I would be delighted to be wrong. I really do mean that. I really would. But plain and simply, what this decision tells me, and no doubt what it tells thousands of others, is that they have no confidence left in the factory mode, because they want as many players as possible at any cost.
Yes, I think he's right. He's right in this. They want to try to capture as many people as possible, right? You don't want to filter any players out, because you are... At the end of the day, HYPERGRYPH is a company. They're trying to make a product. When you make a product, doesn't matter if it's a game, doesn't matter if it's a phone, doesn't matter if it's PlayStation, console, whatever, you want as many people to buy your game as possible, or play your game, right? In this particular case, not necessarily buy, but there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, there's a lot of investment that goes into this game. You want it to be profitable. If it's not profitable, the game shuts down, and EOS, like Black Beacon, right? So I think, like, they have to make the best decision for them, right? Like, what's the best in their favor. Even if you can get kids to play the game, right? Like, doesn't matter if you think that gacha is good for kids or not. Even if you can get kids to play the game, that's like, you know, extra category of potential players who perhaps might spend money in your game. And I think that's just how it is, right? They want to get as many people as to play the game as possible.
Kind of player to whom absolutely nothing matters except making everything more convenient. If I am given no reason whatsoever to think HYPERGRYPH has any confidence in the factory mode, why the fuck should I have any confidence in it either? Letting players forgo the factory mode entirely with a share code is not an amplifier of creativity and
I don't think there's confidence. I don't think there's a confidence thing into this though, right? Like, it's not trying... You're trying to get as many people to enjoy the game as possible, right? There could be some people that maybe they will try different things eventually, just because they can copy it. I don't know, I feel like it's very weird. I can see where he's coming from, definitely, but I can also understand the other side of the equation, where there might be some people... Think about it this way, right? What if there are some people out there that just don't care about the factory? but they care about the characters and they would spend money in the game. Wouldn't that be justification enough for you to give that particular person an option to just skip this thing entirely? Because that's your potential customer, right? Think about it that way. And why would you want to have a way to filter out your potential customer, potential player that are willing to give you money eventually? If you have enough interesting characters, right? But you might not be interested in the factory gameplay, I think that's fine, right? They are scared of another TV mood from ZZZ. They are scared of the TV mood situation from ZZZ. You think that they are going to remove this eventually, right? Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the entire situation of them adding the blueprints, right? The blueprints is there.
Productivity. Come the fuck on, guys. At least have some respect for the people you're talking to. Absolutely everyone sees right through this. And then that's all followed up with, the goal is to let more administrators fall in love with what makes this experience special, the joy of building with your own hands.
Okay.
This is monumentally short-sighted. HYPERGRYPH, you have shot yourselves in both feet.
Damn.
Just as you are about to start running a marathon. You have allowed your game to be lobotomized by Philistines. People who do not even slightly give a shit about your art. People who will abandon you in droves the moment a shinier distraction appears are celebrating your decisions. But hey, devs listened. That's all that fucking matters, right? Devs listening to the most asinine, illiterate demographic on Earth. The kind of people who will actively try to turn your game into the shit that lazy parents put on an iPad in front of their drooling toddler.
So I think he's trying to say that people that don't want to do the factory thing are lazy. I think he's trying to say that. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I can see his point. I definitely see his point. I see where it's coming from. I definitely can understand the frustration that the developers is trying to cater to lazy people out there. They are definitely going to be lazy people. But at the end of the day, you're still trying to make a product, and you still want your product to reach as many people as possible. You want to include the hardworking. It doesn't matter though. It's a game, right? Hardworking, lazy, doesn't matter. You want to have as many players as possible. That's your goal as a company. Your goal as a company is to have as many players play your game, right? That's just how it is, right? It doesn't matter if they probably have calculated and they probably have made a research. Is it worth it to put the factory thing in the game and force players to play through the tutorial and force themselves to like something that they don't like? Or is it better to just give players a blueprint? I think they've already made that decision. They've calculated, okay, it's better to just give players a blueprint. That way, you know, there are some players that if they don't want to, they can just use the blueprint system. And I don't think HYPERGRYPH is stupid, right? Like, let's be honest, like, they probably have experience in these kind of things. They probably have already some sort of like, they've done some sort of research to know, probably in the long run, this is going to be beneficial for them, right? So I see where he's coming from. Again, I don't think he's exactly wrong. There are going to be a lot of people. They are just going to, you know, like Story Skipper, for example, right? Think about it this way. Genshin, right? A lot of people complain that they cannot skip story in Genshin. I think that's also going to be one factor, right? Like sometimes, like, you gotta ask yourself, is it worth it to just give... How many of you guys have quit Genshin because you cannot skip story? I'm sure it happened before, right? Some people just quit Genshin because they cannot skip story. Is it better to give players the option to sometimes just skip the story and they stay in that game, they stay playing Genshin, they are still Genshin #1 fan, and they still spend money in the game? Sometimes it might be worth it. Sometimes it might be worth it. Honkai Star Rail, you quit Honkai Star Rail because of it. Honkai Star Rail did added skip button. But my point is, the companies have to research and they have to ask themselves, yeah, if you give players a skip button, sure, there are some people that might not be interested in the story. So you have to calculate, you have to see, is it worth it to have certain audience in the game or not, right? Like, would you want to filter some people out, right? That's going to be something that they have to make into consideration. And I would like to believe that HYPERGRYPH has done their research. And he's saying that HYPERGRYPH is not confident in their own system. I actually think it's the opposite. I actually think that HYPERGRYPH has done enough research and they have found out that based on the previous beta, because Arknights it's not like they have never done beta before. They have done like 3 betas. I think they have done enough research based on feedbacks from all the regions, not just global, right? From CN, from Korea, from JP, And whether you like it or not, those are going to be the priority because those regions will definitely give them more money, let's be honest, right? Like, I'm not saying that global is the last place, but in most cases, global is the last place when it comes to spending money, right? So if I was a developer that's looking to maximize revenue, I would look at it from that aspect and try to prioritize and see, even if global, a lot of people complain about this, but in CN it's quite the opposite, you will still cater towards that. Because if that's going to be the biggest people that say, hey, the factory thing, it would be nice if we have a tutorial or can copy other people's one. That could be like a small determining factor.
Anyway, everything else was really cool. I enjoyed like at least 95% of that stream.
Okay, that's good.
I'm sure the rest of the game will be really fun. Hope I get into the beta. See you all on the 3rd of November.
Into the beta, is it? Okay. All right. I think.
Anyway, everything.
I think I can see where he's coming from, right? A lot of the points that he make, definitely is in line with his previous video as well. Yeah. A lot of games tend to change things or try to modify things as it goes on. And all in all, it is a live service games anyways, right? And with all of these live service games, there always will be more updates that they will add and more things that they will change. And sometimes people can like certain things or dislike certain things, and that's how the developers will change things, right? You don't know if this man like the game or hate it. I think he's coming from a more, I wouldn't say it's a super elitist mindset, but he is coming from a little bit of the elitist mindset, right? Whether you like it or not, because he likes a lot of the system, and he even thinks that the game previously, he make a separate, this is not in this video, but in the separate video he was trying to say that the game is fine without dodge, but majority of the players want dodge. And then he's saying, oh, if you want dodge, just go and play Genshin and Wuthering Waves. So in the end, the developers have added dodge. So if the developers have added dodge, I think that has justified, or that has basically, basically the developers have spoken, right? They think that, okay, that's fair enough, it's important enough for them to add it, right? He's an Arknights dude lover. Chill, man, chill. Everything is drama. Well, the title seems a bit hostile, right? HYPERGRYPH has no spine. That title seems a little bit hostile if you think about it, right? But yeah, I think it's a fair video. I think the criticisms here are fair. Here, I can link it to you guys. This is the video, right? I actually think this is one of the, despite what he said in the regarding the game, I do have faith in HYPERGRYPH. I think HYPERGRYPH can pull it off, right? If anyone, it will be them, or Ananta, or Azure Promelia, or NTE. One of them, right? One of them will be able to pull it off. It's okay, right? We'll see. Can't spend 23 hours a day on a dying game. On a game? Damn. 23 hours. That's too much, man.